Good morning. Welcome to the Web Technology and Mini Project Lab. I'll share the PPT. So already we have finished the 6th lab program. This is the 7th lab program. The subject code 17CSL77, experiment number 7th one. Okay. So experiment number 7, write a PHP program to display a digital clock which displays the current time of the server. So to do this program, what are the requirements of a program? So here we need to write a PHP program which should display a digital clock. A current time has to be displayed from the server. Right? So now the date function, where a date function which displays your current time, the local time and date of the server. Right? So this date function which takes its own syntax, where a date function which has two parameters, a format and a timestamp, right? So the date function which formats the local date and the time and returns the formatted date string, right? So which takes two parameters, the date, format and a timestamp. So what are the formats it accepts and how the date will be displayed with the time and all, right? We'll see now what are the date parameters and description of it, right? So date which has a two parameters. The first one is a format which takes a different formats to display the date, like a hour, minute and a second. In that also there will be different properties, different values. Like if you give a small h, it will be a 12-hour format. If you give a capital H, it is of a 24 format. Right? So let us see the format description. What all the optional values options it uses. That small d which displays the day of the month from 01 to 31. Right? Then the capital D option which displays a textual representation of a day in 3 letters. Right? So like Monday MON will be displayed, a Wednesday WED will be, Sunday SEN will be displayed. Right? Then if you want to display a numeric representation of a month, then a small em has to be used. So it will display a month number from 01 to 12. Then capital M which represents a short textual representation of a month, like in 3 letters. If it is a March, then MAR is used. If it is April, APR is used. Right? And then capital Y which gives you a 4-digit representation of a year. A small y displays a 2-digit representation of a year. Last 2 digits used to display the year. A small y option. Then a small h indicates 12-hour format of an hour. That is nothing but hours will be displaying from 1 to 12. Then after 12 it will be incremented to again 1. Right? Then if it is a capital H, then it is of 24-hour format. Right? So here it starts from 00, then it reaches up to 23. Then once it is 23 to reaches, again it starts from 0. Then I indicates a minutes with the leading zeros. So it starts from 00 to 15. Small s indicates seconds, which is also a leading zero from 00 to 15. Then a small a which gives you a lowercase am or pm. Then a capital A indicates a uppercase am or pm. So this is a format of a date function. Right? Here another parameter of a date function is a timestamp, which is an optional value which specifies an integer Unix timestamp which is used for the default current local time, right? So even you can use time of function to display the current local time, but here this date which displays both a date as well as a time, right? Now one more we need to use a tag as an a meta tag where we have to display the current value, current date and time of the server. So here a digital clock has to be displayed. Digital clock looks like every second it will be goes on refreshing. So to refresh the data of a server, refresh the time of a server, we need a external additional tag which is called a meta tag, which uses to define a metadata about an HTML document where the metadata is an information about the data what you are displaying, right? So this meta tag which has a its own attributes, right? So meta tag which always starts from the head element and typically it is used to specify a character set, page description, keywords, author of the document, and a viewport settings. So based on the character set, the values will be set for the meta element. So metadata will not display on the page, but it is a machine parsable data. That metadata is used by the browsers to display a content or a reload page information. Then it is also used by search engines where it uses the keywords to display the data. Then other web services to display a content. Right? Then what are the attributes of a meta tag? A meta tag which has a four attributes: character set, content, HTTP equivalent, and a name. Right? So here a character set which is used as a value character set which specifies a character encoding for the HTML document. Then a content attribute which is a text value specifies a value associated with the HTTP equivalent. HTTP equivalent attribute or a name attribute. Name attribute. Then HTTP equivalent attribute which has a four different values. So first value is content security policy value, content type value, default style value, or a refresh value. So refresh is nothing but every time, every second, the content has been refreshed by specifying HTTP equivalent value as refresh. So HTTP equivalent attribute which provides a HTTP header for the information or the value of the content attribute, right? Then the fourth, the last attribute of the meta element is a name, where it has different values: application name, author name, description name, or a generator, or the number of keywords, or a viewport of the meta element. Then which gives the name attribute is specifies a name for the metadata, right? So the description we have seen what are required for the program to write. So this helps us to do display a digital clock in the of the circuit, right? So here we will see now how this program has to be executed, right? So now look at the execution. So we'll now move to the editor where we can write a program for the displaying of a digital clock. All right. So now I'll share the text editor where I have written a code for it. Then we will see how this program will be executed. Right. Now this is a seventh program where we are displaying a digital clock. So to do the digital clock, we require a HTML page which includes the PHP code. In through PHP, we are displaying the current server date and time. Right. So we have seen different options of a date function. Right. So here we are using a CSS file to add the capturing styles for the page, even PHP code to display a digital clock. Right? So let us begin. So here HTML we need to write. So HTML, then the header tag. Under header tag, we have to write a meta tag, which consists of two attributes, the HTML HTTP equivalent, which gives you a refresh value. So whenever the page is executed, the page has to be continuously refreshed because it's a digital clock. Then the content equal to 1, which is nothing but a refreshing time. So how much time? Within a 1 millisecond, it has to goes on refreshing the content. So after the meta element, we are included here a style tag. Style element which gives you style specification of the page. So whatever the data you are displaying in under the paragraph element, which will be having a color blue, the font size is 90 pixels, position is absolute, the top 50%, left 50% you are giving, and transformation from translate 50% to minus 50. Then the body background color is black. Right? So here the next comes the body tag. Right? So after closing a style, we need to close all the head tag and a style tag. Then start with the body tag where actual code begins. So in the paragraph, we are displaying a PHP code with a default time zone set as an Asia or a Celsius. Right? Then the date which will be displayed using the function date. Then what are the parameters used? There are two parameters. One is a format and one is a timestamp. So timestamp is a optional one, and a data where we are using a format. So here the format which has different options. H, I, S, and A. So H is a small h which gives you hours. I is a minute. So H which displays what? The 0 to 12 hours of a format. I is a minutes. S is a seconds. Then to display AM in capital letters. AM and PM. Then close the paragraph and then HTML. Right? Now save this. So here this is a server side scripting. So we need to save this file with the extension .php. Right? So after saving this, we need to run it in the browser. So this is the server side. So we have to save this file under the www projects. Right? So where we are storing, we are going to store this under the WAMP server. So here I have stored, locate the first path of a WAMP server. So WAMP will be installed in a C drive. So go to C, then under C, there is an folder called WAMP, WAMP folder, under WAMP folder, www folder, then go to project, under project, save the file program.7.php. Then save it. Once it is saved, then move to the browser where a browser which will display the execution. So how to start? So first you need to start the server. So server has to be started. So server will be, we need to start the server. So server, WAMP server, begin with the WAMP server. So WAMP server has to run in the background. So just click on W, then start all services. Once your services are started, then go to localhost. Just double click on localhost, then double click on localhost. Once you click on the localhost, it will open the file in the browser, one of the browser. So the browser which displays this main page with the server configuration, WAMP server configuration. In that, search the your projects, then go to projects. In that, we have saved the file with the file name program7.php. Then double click on program7.php. It displays the server. So we have given body color as background, then the paragraph color as a blue. So it is displaying this as blue color. The current time will be displaying and it is refreshing every minute, right? Every second. So the time 301. So it is 0 to 12. So in my system, it is displaying 15 to 1501. So it is of 24 format, and what we have used is a 12-hour format. So it is displaying 3, 1. Right? So in this way, you can execute a digital clock using the PHP program. Right? Okay, thank you.